What is up, party people? So I am coming to you, and this is my first official vlog, and it really started because wonder of all wonders, will they never cease? I was prepping for a post that as I was writing, and as I was when I say prepping for, I really do prep for my post, right? So sometimes it just kind of flows naturally, but a lot of times I really do like to seek out some different information and resources and things like that to make sure that if it's something that I'm going to quote a specific set of knowledge on, that I make sure that whatever I think I know, I actually know, right? If it's more than just opinion based. And I quickly realized that this kind of material was going to be way longer than a post needed to be. And so I was like, hey, well, for a long time, I kind of was really putting some pressure on myself to write a blog, and writing actually happens to be something that I'm very good at and I do enjoy, but didn't want to write a blog. Did not enjoy it at all. And I finally gave myself permission to go, dummy, don't. Not to mention the fact that video is actually a lot of fun for me. I am clearly not lacking in energy, and I love it because I've been told that my writing, people that know me, they're like, I can hear you in your writing, but in video, you literally can hear me. So, so today, the post was going to be about kind of the topic, the sort of prompt for me was like authenticity versus professionalism. And again, I was kind of doing some preliminary research, like just trying to get a vibe for, because I know what that means to me, but I wanted to get a little bit of a vibe for like, what does that mean to other people? And so doing some preliminary research, because again, huge nerd, right? And that's just who I am as a human. And y'all, what I found was kind of crazy. And when I say crazy, crazy to me, right? Because I didn't know that there were so many, that so many individuals viewed authenticity the way that they do. And so I found this kind of overwhelming response that there are a lot of people, and you might be one of them, right? But to them, authenticity, yes, is being true to yourself, but that presents in such a way that you kind of always say what you think, and you always act how you feel. And that is definitely not what actual authenticity is, right? And so one of the things I kind of wanted to share with you is like one of the articles that I pulled up was what it says, that as much as actually, where they got the advice from was Seth Godin. Okay, so he's written some great books like Purple Cow, and I can't believe I can't think of any others. I've got one sitting on my shelf somewhere over there, but even though I have on glasses, cannot read that far. Oh, All Marketers Are Liars, and he's written some great stuff. He's an awesome dude. And so kind of what the author of this article was saying is, that it's really great to be aligned with yourself, which is super crazy true. But what they're talking about is that there's this myth going around that we should always express our true feelings at all times and they should take over everything else. And what I found in this particular quote that Seth Godin had said is that what it leads to ultimately, like spoiler alert, I'm going to read it to you, but spoiler alert, is that always expressing our true feelings and that taking over everything else is authenticity. And that's just so not true. So what Seth Godin said was, I'm really careful about promising a deadline. I'm really careful about signing up a project, but once I do, the deal is done. I don't have to revisit it. I get that people wrestle with temptation all the time, and I'm not saying the method I'm describing is easy, but I am saying when we talk about bosses we admire, when we talk about business leaders or political leaders or statespeople and we look at them with respect, I think you could look at yourself that same way if you chose. And a key part of it is to say, I'm not going to be situational about my decision making. I'm going to be strategic about my decision making. And you only have to make that choice once. And you're not going to be great at it at first, but you can stop acting like a 14-year-old and start acting like a grown-up and a professional, which means authenticity is totally overrated. This is my insert right there. That's the definition of authenticity. That means we always do as we feel, right? Not what I consider to be the real definition of authenticity. Jump back into the quote. Authenticity is totally overrated. Totally. I don't want an authentic surgeon who says, meh, I don't really feel like doing any surgery today. I want a professional who shows up whatever they feel like. There are days you will see me give a talk or write something where it's not my authentic monkey brain saying whatever pops into its head. This is me playing the role of Seth Godin being the professional who does what he says he was going to do. And if that bothers people that I'm not always authentic, I'm sorry, but at least I'm consistent. Okay. And actually, before I kind of briefly get on my soapbox, I found another article. And it says that what it's talking about is the difference between a motivation-based amateur and a disciplined professional. And it says much of the same thing, that amateurs are going to show up when they feel like it, and professionals are going to show up no matter what they feel like. And it was about this particular individual who made a commitment to do like a new movie / vlog every single day. But he didn't always feel like it, and he didn't want to. And he only became successful when he decided to become a professional YouTuber, and he actually did make something new every day. And then it also, again, it says, I quote, when it comes to success, authenticity is overrated. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a definition of authenticity, and this is pulled from multiple sources. Yes, Merriam-Webster, Oxford, things like that. So, and the reason I'm giving you multiple is I am what's called a logophile, and a logophile is a lover of words. I love the root definitions of words. I love that you can get multiple definitions, because I think anytime you're going to look up the definition of words, if you look at those multiple definitions, you really get so much of a better sense of that. That's why, like, for example, if you've ever, like, when you're studying certain languages, like Greek, for example, some things that are translated from Greek into English, in English we have one word for this thing, but in Greek they might have 3 words, and each of those words means something a little bit different, and it gives you a little bit more context. So when you look up multiple definitions, you're going to get a little bit more context into that word. And so it's kind of like that's what synonyms are for us, right? So for authentic, here are some definitions for you. Of undisputed origin, genuine, not false or copied, real, something that is real or genuine or not counterfeit, true to one's own personality, spirit, or character, representing one's true nature or beliefs, true to oneself or to the person identified. Now, nowhere in any of those definitions did it talk about feelings or impulses. That is not what authenticity is. Authenticity, I like specifically pointing out your true nature and your beliefs, or as I want to even get more specific and talk about your core beliefs, right? So I'm going to transition a little bit because I found an article in Forbes. The author was Kathy Caprino, and what she says, and I love this, and I'm quoting directly, the concept of authenticity means many different things to different people. Not putting on a show, being true to one's values, being transparent, feeling aligned with one's integrity, etc. For many, the practice of authenticity feels positive, liberating, and growth-inducing. But in practice, it can also mean being as I always have been. Now, I'm I'm going to kind of go on a little bit, right? Because I want to get to the meat of where I'm going to go with this. So I don't agree with that, and neither does the author, by the way. That's not what she agrees with. She does not agree with authenticity being as you always have been. So I want to I'm going to skip around a little bit in the article. I pulled out some of the really great pieces that are just said better than I probably could have said in just a small prep time. And these are combinations of quotes from Kathy Caprino, but the majority of it come from Herminia Ibarra, who's done a lot of work around this topic. But before I get to that, earlier in Kathy's professional career, her boss called her pathologically authentic. And so now these are everything I say until I say, like, stop, is direct quotes from this article. And this is Kathy saying this. I had a deep need to share everything with him, her boss. Everything I was thinking without any filters about the job, my responsibilities, my desired trajectory, etc., even if doing so would hurt my career there. Okay, so that was the pathologically authentic that he was saying. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to quotes by Herminia. The problem with authenticity is that if you have an overly simplistic view of it, you may be hindering your growth. In fact, almost anything that gets us out of our comfort zone, as any new and unfamiliar leadership behavior, will feel inauthentic and contrived at first. Even when it comes to something as basic as listening, people who are not very good at it will admit that they don't do more of it because they don't feel genuine if they have to force themselves to do it. The problem is that what feels like the authentic you, is actually the old and outdated self you need to shed in order to be a better leader. I've found that many of the common challenges of stepping up to be bigger leadership roles often make people feel like fakes. Two great examples are taking charge in a new role and selling your ideas and yourself. So hopefully what you heard in that is that, yes, anytime we try something new, it's uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Like, that's the very nature of growth. It's never easy. It's never comfortable. It's very often painful. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they call them growing pains, because they're literally painful. But that doesn't mean it's not authentic. Those are different, right? Uncomfortable and inauthentic are not the same thing. And so, I think the key here is really thinking about why discomfort exists and really distinguishing discomfort from inauthentic. If you're feeling discomfort somewhere, is it discomfort because of growth? Or is it discomfort because it's violating a core belief? And I feel like the key there is core belief. So step one, what are your core beliefs? And if you can't talk about those, then that just means that's a self-discovery that you need to go on, right? A lot of mine, it's funny because one of my core beliefs actually is authenticity. I want to work with people and engage with people that are authentic. I want you to be who you are, and I want you to feel comfortable to be who you are with me and in front of me, and I want you to feel safe to be who that is. So if we have different, religious views, and I might sneeze here, and I'm really sorry if I do, but because I can feel it, it's like right here. But if you have different political views, religious views, I'm cool with all of that. What I'm not cool with those that are super hateful and judgmental. No, I don't roll like that. I struggle with those that live life on fundamental terms. Fundamentalists actually kind of terrify the shit out of me, if we're really being honest, because I try really hard not to live my life in absolutes, because, once you root yourself into something that's black and white, it becomes really hard to change that, and I don't think change is really all that evil, Anyway, One of my core beliefs is that I believe every single soul, and I'm very intentional about the use of the word soul because I believe that animals are a part of that, all animals. And so I believe every single soul has a right to life, and I believe that every single soul deserves to be seen and heard and understood and accepted and loved and celebrated for the way that they were created, not the way we think they should have been created or wish that they were. And so that's a core belief for me. So for others that don't share that core belief, right, and that don't value all life, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't mean I hate you or wish bad things on you. That just means that we won't work together, or we probably won't be besties. Yeah. Now, that being said, there are things that I've had to, like mindset work, right? Mindset work is uncomfortable, y'all, because it's about digging in sometimes, and it's not always about digging up every little issue of your past. Sometimes that's not even helpful. It can be counterproductive. But we all have limiting beliefs. We all have things in our subconscious that are holding us back. And the brain is wired to keep you safe, if you didn't know that. So that's totally normal. That's your brain doing its job. And safe is good. Not safe is bad. And so your brain's going to actually try to keep you from doing those things that don't seem safe. And what's known is safe and what's unknown is not. And so anytime you try something new, that's going to feel like warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson. And so, but that stuff doesn't mean it's inauthentic. It just means that it's new and it's scary. So anytime you feel something that's uncomfortable, another great example, y'all, I'm not a morning person. Like those people that jump out of bed and want to sing, I want to throat punch those people. Like if that's you, I don't understand you in your life. I love you, but I don't understand you. I've always been that way my whole life. And this is not a nature, like this is not like this is how I was born. Like Jesus made me this way because my father is a morning person. My grandmother who raised me is a morning person. So I was raised around people that woke up just happy to be alive. The birds are singing. And I just wanted them to shut up and not talk to me. But, I've come to realize it's not that I'm not a morning person. I'm not an alarm person, okay? Alarms make me angry. But I realized a few weeks ago that if I want to accomplish all the things that I want to accomplish, and most importantly, if I want to do the work I know that I want to do and need to do every day, and I want to take care of myself and actually not continue to put myself at the bottom of the list every day, my ass has got to get up. Not that I sleep till noon, but I got to get up. My husband gets up around 4:30, and he usually leaves between 5 and 5:30. So my husband, and he wakes me up so perfectly, y'all. Like, it's great. He just like gently like grabs my back, and I like slowly come out of a slumber. That's real uncomfortable for me to get up between 5 and 5:30. I don't like it. But it's not inauthentic to me. I just don't like it. Okay? So just learn to distinguish between those two. So kind of back to kind of essentially just, I've got a couple more things and then I'm going to cut this off. So remember I told you the initial post was going to be like authenticity versus professionalism. There's one real key thing I want to highlight here for you people. And I did not actually pick up on this until, it was a good probably year and a half into my business. I do love Jesus, but I also love to cuss a little. Sometimes more than a little. And if you ever want to have a conversation about that, I am totally down, right? Totally down. I don't get emotional about that stuff. We can talk all day. But this is not the post for that or the vlog for that. And so what I realized after talking to a couple friends that are also in business, one of whom is some B2B, but also B2C, and then one of whom is straight B2B. And what I mean by B2B, like, I'm B2B in the sense that I work with other founders and entrepreneurs, but this individual works with corporations and does corporate trainings. So if I alienate somebody, or if I'm just not their cup of tea, it really doesn't hurt my bottom line that much, right? I can be truly, fully, authentically me all the time. I can talk about God and Jesus. I can talk about my support of Black Lives Matter. I can boycott things if I want to. I can talk about being a fierce LGBTQ plus ally. I can say the word fuck. I can do all those things. My friend has to be really intentional, and I know that it's a struggle for this person because everything that I just mentioned is something that they do or support fiercely as well. But they also, like, for example, they do trainings for one of their local police departments, and it's a huge account for them, and they're good police people, right? Like, this isn't like a, you know what I mean? So, like, it's not like a sellout kind of a deal, because I know this individual and they would never do that. Like, they'd be the first person to be like, okay. But the other side of that coin is, because they do corporate trainings, they have to deal with, like, the people who hire this individual have to deal with HR. That's another piece of that. So if they hire this individual and this individual gets in the door and says something that offends someone, because everyone is so squishy and marshmallowy and delicate and fragile, and they get offended, it's not even about my friend. It's about them going to HR. So how, quote, authentic and how free you get to be with that, because there's authentic and then there's being, like, uber transparent all the freaking time. Those aren't the same thing either, by the way. You can be authentic without saying every little thing that comes into your brain all the damn time, which I don't know why you're doing that anyway. Like, I love you, but don't nobody care what you think all the time. Nobody. Okay? You have best friends and spouses and animals for that shit. So you can still be authentic without doing something. Because my other side too, P.S., is if you being authentic and saying that thing is going to genuinely hurt someone else, then I would challenge the necessity of you saying that thing. Notice I didn't say it was wrong. I just said I would challenge, or I would push back, and I would encourage you to consider it. So you're just how much you want to jump into that authenticity. I think really you just need to look at who your people are, and who you're trying to get to hire you. Because, I mean, don't be dumb, right? Like, don't sacrifice your living so that you can get on here and go fuckity fuck. And then no one wants to hire you because they're terrified you're going to walk into their building and go fuckity fuck. Like, that's dumb. That's just foolish. Okay. I was going to say one more thing. I think I have some ADD. Oh, so the other thing that I was going to say, because I want to recognize this as well, as I was getting ready for this, I want to just publicly, like, recognize and acknowledge and, like, take a moment to just humbly, I don't think I realized until doing some of this work right now that I always knew that, like, this authenticity piece was a big deal for me. I knew that it was a superpower that I have. I'm also a highly intuitive empath. If you want to know what that means, the intuitive piece, throw me a message and we can talk about that too. What I didn't know, though, I don't think I had any idea how much of a superpower this really is of mine, because all the stuff I kept reading and people going, I mean, I thought it was this and I fell into this trap and I didn't know it was this. I was like, I totally knew that. There's no reason for me to know that shit. It just was innate. Like, so I'm just so super thankful for that. And if you have questions, I would love to answer them. feel free to, I tell everybody this all the time anyway, but I offer free 30-minute coaching calls. And so if you're like, you know what, I would like to have a coaching call to talk about this shit because I got questions. Boo, I'll try to get all the answers for you. And you fill out a little form ahead of time so you can pop those questions in there and I can do some research for you if I don't have the answers. So yeah, last thing I'm going to leave you with, and then I really am like, we'll be done. Some things you can do. I've got three quick things that can help you navigate the waters and help you distinguish between authenticity and comfortability. Okay? 1, go to the dressing room and start trying things on. I have a friend, her name is Talitha, and I actually got this whole idea of trying things on from her. That was like her image, and I love it, and I've just clung to it. It just works well. And what I mean is, when you're shopping for clothes, you go to the dressing room. Well, most people, you people that can go and like just take stuff home and know it fits, I envy you, because my life don't work like that. But for the rest of us, we have to go in and try stuff on, right? And we try it on, we see if it fits, we take a couple looks, we may go out and look in the big mirror, and if it doesn't fit, what do? We take that shit off and we put it on the floor, and we move on. It's exactly what you need to do when it comes to trying on a strategy or a process or a brand voice or just whatever it is, right? Try it on. If it fits, cool. If it doesn't, cool. There's nothing saying you can't change your mind. That's a load of bullshit, right? So get in the dressing room, try some stuff on, get rid of the shit that doesn't fit. You wouldn't buy something that doesn't fit and take it home. So don't think because it doesn't fit, you have to keep wearing it. That's dumb. 2, when it comes to change, this is one of those few things it's absolutely okay for you to straddle the fence. If you're not familiar, straddle the fence means you won't make a decision and you won't like go to one side or the other. And the reason I'm telling you that's okay is because change is neither good or bad. It depends on the situation. Sometimes change is a great thing and sometimes it's not, right? It depends entirely on the situation. So allow yourself to be flexible and a little fluid when it comes to that. And know that it is 1,000% okay to change your mind. And it is 1,000% okay if something is right and it's authentic and it's aligned and it's working for you, then it's also okay to stick with that. Just make sure that you're sticking with something because you know it's right and because you know it's working, not because you're scared of change, right? Cool. And then the last thing, this is going to be my most controversial one, but if you know me, you'll know I like a good controversy. Fundamentalists are fundamental. I said it. Crazy. Okay. So way back in the day, fundamentalism always referred back to religion, right? But it's just become so prevalent in secular society that it's not reserved just for the religious nuts anymore. And I am religious, so I can say that all I want. And actually, you can too, by the way. But, so actually, I pulled a definition for this too. But what this is that it usually and used to have a religious connotation that indicates, now I really want you to tune in, unwavering attachment to a set of irreducible beliefs. Y'all, if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, then I don't know what will. Okay? I even have gotten to think, there's a reason I say I try not to live my life in absolutes. Because saying I refuse to live my life in absolutes is a fucking absolute. Yeah? I really try not to live my life in absolutes because I just don't want to be so arrogant to think that I could possibly know everything about anything. There's got to be stuff that I don't know about everything. And there's a shit ton that I don't know about a lot of things. And there are a lot of things that I know nothing about. And I'm always under the assumption that I don't have all the information. And it's on that assumption that I'm willing to change my mind if you present me with evidence that makes me go, I did not know that. Yeah? So, go to the dressing room, start trying some stuff on. Straddle the fence when it comes to change. And fundamentalists are fundamental. So don't be mental. All right, my friends. I didn't really know what to say. I was gonna say, all right, for some reason I wanted to say family, and I mean, I guess y'all could be my fam. I don't. I'm just gonna sign off. Later.